Hey guys, how's it going? It's just Joshua. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying Elyon so far if you're playing it. If you're not, I hope you come to the right channel to find your information, and I hope you find what you're looking for. But today I'm going to be bringing you a PvP tier list of what we know so far and my personal opinion on these classes. Now, before we get too far into this, I do want to put out a disclaimer saying that this is just my personal opinion from my experience, and overall, I believe that most classes are relatively balanced. And I say that very lightly because there are very strong abilities. However, most classes have a very strong ability or two right now. Everybody likes to complain about Slayers being broken, which they are. However, Assassin's Rainfall is also really nasty. Mystics can kill people with one swarm. Ellies can very easily just teleport across the map and stunlock somebody into oblivion and potentially one-shot him as well. Gunners have basically an auto attack that just goes right through any type of invulnerability or preventative or evasion that also just does absurd damage and can basically destroy anybody. If you let a gunner be untouched, they will wipe an entire team in less than 5 seconds. And then Warlords can just grab people and chain them and put them into a ground slam stun lock that takes them from 100 to 0 in a couple seconds. So those are pretty much all the classes, and I just named all the abilities. So if there's something that is your playstyle, something that you are looking for, from another game, I say play whatever relates to you the most, and that's going to be the class to go. Elyon has enough diversity to where you can make any build viable on any class. So that's basically my disclaimer. And if you were looking to see like what is good or isn't good, there's really no answer for you at the moment. Now, without going too deep in all of that, I'm going to give you my personal tier list and a general breakdown on it. This is around a PvP focus. If you're looking for something that is predominantly PvX or PvE, this isn't the video for you. This is just going on raw PvP personal opinion. So here's my current tier list for PvP. At S tier, we have Slayer. Slayer right now is insanely strong for numerous reasons. Their Rampage alone, which is their tab skill ability, reduces all incoming damage by up to 50%, makes them CC immune unless you use a Transcendence skill on them, and also makes them take like 50% less damage or something crazy like that. It basically makes them a nearly unkillable god for enough time for them to just dash around and obliterate you. They have several other abilities that can one-shot you or very close to one-shot you, and they are just overall a very strong class. Slayers can run into a group of people, pop art of fencing, or what's commonly referred to as blades, and easily kill 10 to 15 people in a world setting. Slayers are very, very, very strong, and it's not uncommon to see people get one shot by lesser geared Slayers, lesser leveled Slayers in arenas. They are my top dog right now. Not that they're unbeatable, but they are very strong. Now, in the A tier, we have Assassin and Gunner, both for different reasons. Assassins are typically going to run what we are calling a cheese build, and that's going to be Rainfall. Rainfall was an ability that is much like a Hunter's Volley of Arrows from previous games, like Hunters or Demon Hunters in Diablo. It's essentially a volley, a rain of arrows, something like that. It does magic damage. Hits really hard, and they can spam it. If you get caught in that for more than 2 seconds, regardless of your gear, you are dead. They are running that basically an evasive build, and they are really hard to beat. But assassins also have a physical build that they can just stealth on you, mark of death you, and basically one-shot you with, they have several abilities that do transcend, which goes right through immunities and evasions. All the good assassins are running the melee build in PvP, but the rainfall build is also really cheesy, and it's a noob crusher. So assassins are really strong regardless of which build you go for. Gunners, I would have to put gunners as probably the highest skill cap class in the game right now. If you get caught out, they die. They have some really good abilities. They have their own version of smoke bomb. They have a ton of long range, max range damage that goes right through any invulnerabilities. But they are a very high skill cap build and not necessarily new player friendly. I know this is PvP focused, but in order to get good at PvP in this game, you have to PvE some, and they are one of the lesser strong PvE grinders at the moment. So that's something to consider when considering it. However, Gunner is very viable. A Gunner can kill anybody one-on-one and really makes their presence known in arena. I, as a Mystic main, I have no problem 1v1ing any other class in the game except a Gunner. When I see a Gunner, I lose currently 9 out of 10 times. They are my kryptonite. So Gunners are very strong. When it comes down to the B tier, where I'm putting Elementalist and Mystic, both very, very good classes. If any of you have watched my videos or my streams, you can see on my Mystic, I make Mystic not look very B tier. However, that's where I put it on the list. But like I said in the beginning of the video, this is a very hard tier list to make. I just keep getting asked questions about it, so I've made my own opinion. The reason why I put Mystics at B tier is because one of our strongest abilities is a slow-moving projectile. It is very easy to kite when you know what to look for, and it's very hard to land because my only options really is sunlight to stun. I got a couple other utility abilities, and then Toxic Swarm into that. Very, very strong. A little bit harder to line up, and in PvP their heals are in instanced PvP, their heals are reduced by 50%. So all of our healing abilities and our hybrid builds and stuff like that, it kind of gimps that side of Mystic, which is why I put them down at B tier. Most other classes don't get as much of a gimp as Mystics do, so that's why I put them there. However, they are still very, very strong. They can still beat anybody. The hardest class to beat with them is Gunner, but it's still doable. I've beat some of the best Gunners in the game. It's not often, but it happens. Elementalist. Elementalist is another very high skill cap class. They are potentially very squishy. They are very burst window reliant, but they are also deadly. They got a lot of cleave, a lot of CC, a lot of tricks in their kit, teleports, invisibilities, invincibilities, tons of different elements of CCs, pets, transcendent skills. They're really good. They remind me a lot of like a pre-awakening witch in a BDO, or like a BC version of mage and WoW. So that's kind of the vibe I get from them. They're very good. So don't sleep on them just because I put them at B tier. Once again, it's really hard to do a PvP tier list, and that's where I put them. C tier, I put Warlord, and that's only because it's a very specific play style that not a lot of people can land, and it is very burst window. You are basically going to be kiting, CCing, playing the long game until you get them in your, you have basically a ground slam ability that spams them, and if they don't have a CC break, you will kill them in that combo. Now, it's a very, like I said, it's a very different play style. It requires a lot of kiting, and it's not very new player friendly. However, if that is your style, it is still a very, very viable class. It also takes a little bit more gear and a little bit more skill points to get up to PvE grinding levels to be efficient. However, they are actually one of the fastest end game farmers in the game once you reach those gear and skill point levels. So this is, once again, my personal experience of a PvP tier list. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. These classes are interchangeable per person, per build. With Elyon being the game it is, you can put skill points anywhere, do anything. You can adjust your mana tree so many different ways, run so many different type of gear builds. So there really is no tier list is people like to go in a lot of more static or standard games. We're not really going to ever see that type of linear content in Elyon. It's not designed to be that linear. But as far as beginner friendly and early game playability, this is currently where I rate this. I do also believe that Slayers and Assassins are going to get a nerf come Season 2. Keep that in mind. I can definitely see Slayers getting nerfs or reworks. In every season, we're going to see massive changes to all classes, in the mana trees, and new builds, and new items, and all kinds of new stuff coming out. Also, as gear levels change, a month from now, 2 months from now, this content will be probably outdated. So keep that in mind. Take this very lightly. This is just to kind of give my experience from the people watching my stream, watching my videos, my personal opinion on the PvP breakdown. So once again, thanks for watching. Any type of video request, make sure to drop them in the comments. If you haven't subscribed and turned on the notifications, make sure you do that before this video ends. I will be releasing daily Elyon based content. I am trying to feed the community as much information as they desire. I know that there's not very much content out there right now in order to, learn and educate about this game and try to give a guidance. So I'm going to try to help the community grow through the means of information. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure. It's just Joshua signing out. I'll catch you on the next one.